I want to talk to you today about picking up dropped dreams, and I'll show you where this is in the scripture. But I think a lot of times that we need to understand that God is a God who gives his people a dream, a purpose, a mission. A dream is a God-given projected destiny.
You know, the good book says, without a vision, thou people shall perish. His vision gives us new hope. His vision of his heart says that I will do, I will stand, I will put both of my feet in the ground, and I will stand for something, because if I don't stand for something, I'll fall for anything. It's the smallest things in life that we throw away too quickly. See, some people listen, but when you really want to change, you must hear.
See, my life is more than a rags to riches story. It wasn't the rag part or the richest part. It was the trip that I've been on, the whole journey, what I learned about getting here. See, when I go out tonight, man, I don't see cameras, you know, I don't see an agent, I don't see a talent scout, I don't see any of that. I see people, minus the titles, and minus the cameras, and minus where we are, and forget the competition, man. I'm going out to make people laugh, that's all, man. If I do me, I'll be fine. If I go out here trying to impress some folks, I'm in trouble, man. I gotta impress nobody. I'm just do Steve Harvey, man. I'm funny. I'm gonna be funny. If I don't be nothing else, I'm gonna be funny. That's the deal, ain't it? What I'm telling you right now today is, all of you, if you survive, the reason you're here is because God, he ain't through with you yet. There is still something God has for you that you've yet to receive. There's something that God wants you to do that you haven't yet done. And it don't have to be no big spiritual reason. You ain't here to save the world or go over there and feed the hungry. Them ain't the only callings in life. But I gotta tell you something. In order to get to this calling in life, in order to find out your mission in life, you're gonna have to spend some time talking to God. You can't be too close to him. My job is to get a little bit closer so I can find out a little bit more of what he wants from me. But in order to get the more, you have to expect the more. You have to live the law of expectation. You have to expect your life to be better than it was in 18, 17, 16, and 15, and it will be. There is no reason why it won't be. There ain't nothing you can do about what's gonna happen to you. You can't stop life from happening. You can do something about it. Life is 10% what happened to you, is 90% what you do about it. You got to stop tripping every time something happened to you like it's the end of the world. It ain't. God has seen you through all these years of your life. Why would he bring you this far to leave you? You ain't gotta be perfect to have a relationship with God. You ain't gotta be perfect for God to bless you. Just change your mindset. If you change your attitude, you change your altitude.
It takes courage to act. When you've been defeated, it takes courage to start over again. It was Winston Churchill, he said that courage is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. When you step into your fears and continue to push yourself to go on, something happens for you. It will enable you to transcend yourself. If you don't develop the courage to do that which has been given you to do, and you spend a lot of time going around trying to convince other people or trying to get their approval, what will happen is that you will lose your nerve. And other people will convince you that what you're doing doesn't have any value, and you'll give up on your dream.
95% of the people in this room are living below their ability, guaranteed. Who you are has never been discovered. What you are settling for disappoints God. What you are proud of, God is ashamed of.
It's time now, so we must readjust our comfort zone.
What you are proud of, God is ashamed of.
See, now it's time to go to a different thought process. You see, a goal remains a goal until you write it on a piece of paper. Then it becomes a vision. So our next steps is, what is the vision? What is the vision? Because the only reason I'm here, the only reason we're here today is because of our yesterday. Everything I've been through has defined who I am right now. So what's the goal? What's the vision?
If you can see everything, that ain't
But the
faith.
good book says write the vision and make the vision plain. Before you write the vision, you must have an imagination. You must be able to see yourself out of the situation that you may have been in. If you can't imagine yourself being out of the hood, you'll keep going back to the hood. It's not that I became so brand new that I wanted to remove myself from the hood, but I couldn't change in the hood. I tell you this, you show me your crowd, I'll show you your future. Because they run hand in hand. But when you start to readjust your comfort zone, I want to share something with you that you must understand that before anything great is really achieved, your comfort zone must be disturbed. It's the only way it works. We got to reconnect to what the vision really is. We got to reconnect to who we really are. The reason why we keep going backwards is because we're afraid of tomorrow. But we can't get to tomorrow because we must deal with today.
It means you see it out there, or something that God shows you that He says, this is who I see in you. That's called a dream. It's a designated end. It's a vision of where I shall be.
Inspiring habits.
And there's no question that God has a dream for every person. But with that dream always comes, with God's dream, there always comes hell's nightmare to try to steal that dream. And if you don't learn to endure the nightmare, you will never experience the dream.
It's an interesting thing about life, I've also found, that if you don't have the courage to act, life will move on you. I didn't just leave voluntarily to go to the state legislature. I was fired. And we know scripture that says, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And the truth that I had to come to grips with, that I wasn't in charge of my destiny. The truth was that I wasn't giving all that I had. The truth was that there are some things that I wanted to do, but I didn't have the courage to act on those things. I've been cheating myself and my family. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, do it with everything that you have. Develop the habit of giving more than what you're paid for. Develop the habit of setting standards that others will be measured by. Do not go where the path may lead, but go where there's no path and leave a trail.
Many goals that you may have of making it to this next moment. It ain't the start of the race you got to be careful with. You got to come find me when it's finished the line.
If you get into the habit of just being mediocre, it will become a part of your consciousness. If you get in the habit of giving less than what you have it within you to give, it will begin to reflect itself in your personality. It will begin to damage you. And you don't want to be a part of that kind of self-destructive behavior.
Like I tell my kids all the time, it take a long time to make a lot of money. See, my kids look at me and they be talking about, well, Dad, you ain't got no degree, you didn't finish school. Why I got to go to school? Well, first of all, you don't have no jokes. My kids don't understand the process. See, they just see me now. They didn't know I flunked out of school. They don't care nothing about the third marriage I'm on. They don't know that I lost everything twice. They wasn't around when I was homeless and I lived in the car for 3 years. They didn't see the process. What most people do is to give up before God give you the gift. See, when you ask God for something, He boxes it up and He ships it immediately. But you have to remain on Faith Street in order to receive the gift. The problem is when God boxes up the gift and He ships it to you, He never gives you the date that the package is going to arrive. He'll never tell you that. Most people move off Faith Street before the package get there.
He says, renew your mind and your strength.
You can't move over on the I Doubted Boulevard. He don't ship packages to I Doubted Boulevard. He only ship packages to Faith Street. You can't get over there on I Don't See How Circle. So when you move out of faith, the package got to go back to sender. So you have to stay. You have to stay in the process and complete the fall.
So many people give up and quit because they have a dream planted by God in their heart, but then comes the nightmare. I want to show you that this is a biblical pattern. A dream, again, is a projected destiny of where you shall be, where your family shall be, where your marriage shall be, where your life shall be. And never does God plant that in your heart with that dream that the enemy doesn't come with his nightmare. The dream is your destiny. The dream tells you where you're going. The nightmare is your pathway to it. Your adversity will advance you. The nightmare is the pathway to the dream that you're called to. Calvary was the pathway to the dream of the church. God said, I have a dream. I want a church. Jesus said, I'll build my church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. And hell said, I don't think so. We'll stop you. We'll nail you to a cross. But when Jesus stepped out of that tomb, guess what? The nightmare became the pathway to the dream.
Oh, Father, help me explain this.
The purpose of the dream is twofold. The purpose of the dream is to give you a sense of destiny, that you're not just here wandering through life, that there is a sense of destiny, purpose, and calling that is upon your life.
My mother took her time to promise me one thing. She said, let me tell you something, baby Ray. She said,
Trust no man.
don't put your trust in no man.
I don't trust any system.
She said, not only do you invest in a relationship with God, she said, but if you do anything more than anything else, make sure you got a relationship with Him. So no matter what you say to me, no matter what you say I cannot do, no matter what you say I will not do, I must do. I have to do. I am king. I live as king. I walk as king.
You want to set some high standards for yourself.
This is our new identity. The new identity is you must be okay with your comfort zone being shut up. I can do all things. Philippians 4:13 says, when I get ready to, I can do all things. See, man deals with the possible, but God deals with the impossible. Let me tell you something special about it. He waits for the right moment. You ever notice about God? He's always on time God. He's the God that every time we think we by ourselves, He say, I'm still carrying you. Now, how many people realize that sometimes God has to put you in the most isolated positions ever to get your attention? If there's something in your life that you know need changing, make sure you change it before God changes it. Because when God changes it, He gonna really test your faith.
And you don't have to be in ministry to have a dream. God has a dream for every person. You're not an accident. And the dream is about a sense of destiny on your life. The second purpose of a dream is to inspire you to reach for it, to stretch, to get out of your comfort zone, to go beyond what you think you're capable of doing. That's what a dream that God plants in your heart will do for you. Do you realize everything that has been built is the direct result of a dream and persistence to that dream of someone who would not give up?
Every successful person I know has jumped. When you jump, it allows your parachute to open and you to sail through life within your gift. But when you first jump, your parachute don't open right away. That ain't how it works. If it opened right away, everybody would jump. When you first jump, you're in an uncontrollable fall. It's almost like you're spinning out of control. But you got to stay with the jump, because eventually God will put the necessary air up under your parachute and you'll be in the air like you're supposed to. But you're just going through the process. You're going to get cut up on the rocks. You're going to get your skin toe up. You're going to lose loved ones along the way. You're going to lose friendships along the way. You might lose your car, your job along the way. You might lose your house. But trust and believe that God got you. Name one time He ain't ever had you. Name one time God ever let you down. Name one situation He didn't bring you through. You have to know that God got you some kind of way. Now, the jumping requires faith. Now, what is faith? Faith is the belief in things that you cannot see. Look, man, when I started in comedy, I did not see this. I didn't see any of it. But I had this little piece of faith that if I jumped, He would get me, because I was miserable in my life. I didn't like waking up. I ain't have no purpose. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing.
People, please carry this. Certain scriptures you're supposed to carry with you. I carry it around my neck in a ring form. Isaiah 54:17 says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. No weapon, no thing, nothing. But there's a secret to that message. It didn't say it wouldn't form. It just said it wouldn't prosper. So there are certain things that you gotta go through. There's certain pitfalls that you gotta fall in. There's certain times when you fall back, you don't got no words. You just gotta sit there for a minute, because you ain't nothing to say until God reveals Himself to you. And when He reveals Himself to you, He reveals Himself through your corrections on knowing where you came from. That's what we got to go back to. We got to go back to represent what our brand really is. I live as king. I have 4 kings, I got 2 queens. And I do everything in my power to make sure they understand the importance of having a relationship with God. Not every other day, every day.
When you're working on something you want to achieve, you have got to stand up to that voice. You've got to sell yourself every day on your abilities, on what you're doing, on the goal that you want to reach. You've got to sell yourself every day according to your level of belief. It will manifest itself in what you're doing. Whatever we have right now, whatever we're demonstrating in our lives, is a result of what we believe subconsciously that we deserve. And part of increasing that belief level is that you have got to convince yourself every day. You can learn all the techniques in the world. If you don't believe in yourself, it won't happen for you. You've got to focus on you. And as you convince you will begin to see a difference in the things that you're doing. Selling yourself to achieve a certain objective. Telling yourself every day, here I go again. And I got what it takes. This is my day, and nothing out here is going to stop me.
It's time to readjust our comfort zones. It's time to figure out whatever majority is doing, I'm gonna find myself doing the opposite. I always try to figure out what's the difference between good and great. Good is fitting in. Great is fitting out. That's the only way they're gonna remember what you've ever done. That you must be on this side of the fence. There has to be a new day. Something new has to change. Something new has to be birthed inside of you to say, I am a conqueror. There's nothing I can't achieve. I'm telling you, I've been shackled from my feet to my hands, but when I broke out of them, I said, I'm a new creature that you are not ready to deal with. Because my comfort zone was disturbed. That's why the program is the next steps. We use the word program. I like the word lifestyle. It must become a lifestyle. Changing who you are must become a priority. 3-part beings, mind, body, and spirit. Feed one more than the other one, you will notice it instantly. All 3 parts need to be fed equally. That's the only way you balance yourself out in life. So when you find yourself on the top of a mountain, you must realize that the knowledge that I've learned on being at the peak of the mountain, I must go back to the valley. I gotta go back and get somebody out of the valley that they stuck right there. They can't move for a minute.
The nightmare is threefold. When you're going through darkness, when you're going through trial, when you're going through setback and adversity, you're gonna find out 3 things. The nightmare is about self-discovery. You're gonna find out who you are. You're gonna find out that your security cannot be in what other people say or feel about you. That at some point you have to get something inside of you that says, I believe it, and I don't care what anybody says. I know what God has told me, and you find out who you are. And not only is the nightmare about self-discovery, but it's also about God discovery. You'll find more about God in the darkness in your life than you will in the sunshine days. God said, I dwell in thick darkness. He actually said that. He said, I dwell in thick darkness. In other words, if you want to know more about God, then He allows you to go through darkness. It's not God's will for you to always be in sunshiny, successful, beautiful days, but actually you'll learn more about God and who He is in the dark places. And many of you are walking through that kind of darkness and you don't want to be alone, but God has you alone. He has you cornered. I promise you, He's doing a mighty, mighty work in your life. And you're going to find out who you are, and you're going to find out who God is.
Most of us don't use the stuff that we have brought into the universe. And we want to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to start living life with a sense of urgency and using what we've got, using ourselves up, sharing what we brought into the universe to share. Because if we don't, nobody else will. Stop wasting valuable time.
On October 8th, 1985, I walked in a comedy club for the first time. Signed up for the following week. The following week, a girl took me down there. She said, you got to go to comedy club. You're the funniest person I've ever met. I never even heard of comedy clubs. I'm 27. I walked in a comedy club. I signed up for the following week. I'm gonna sit here and learn. I knew I was funny. I just didn't know what to do with it. They had 10 acts go up. 9 of them went up. I didn't laugh at one joke. I was just sitting there just, man, I wish that was me. Man, they should have said this. Every joke they told, I knew the punchline before they said it, and I wrote a better punchline in my mind, what they should have said. It got to guy number 10, they called his name, he wasn't there. They said, well, he's not here, we're gonna go to next week's list. Steve Harvey, where are you? I looked at the girl I was sitting next to, I said, it's a dude and he got the same name I got. She said, that's you. So they kept clapping and I ran up. Long story short, I won amateur night that night. I won $50. It was a 45-minute drive to my house with this girl named Gladys. I cried 45 minutes. She said, what you crying for? It ain't but $50. I said, no, you don't even understand. I was born tonight. I now know what I'm supposed to do. I went to work the next day, October 9th, and quit my job. With $50, I had nothing. I just never gave up. I just kept believing that he was gonna put that air up under them sails for me one day. This life you got right now, this ain't just it. You think this it? God ain't through with you. If God was through with you, he wouldn't wake you up no more. But God keep waking you up because he got some more for you. This ain't your life. God got some more for you. I wake up every day with the expectation that he finna do something great for me. I expect him to do something great for me.
This is why your teacher can't measure you. When God released you, you came with everything. The purpose is built into the product. You were not born to find your purpose. You were born with your purpose. That's why your dreams are so big, son. And you're afraid of your own self. Because your culture has told you who you should be. They have no idea who you are.
He says that we're the only creature that he ever took the dusk and blew life in. If that's true, and we know it's true, then that's why I had to say that when God is for you, who can be against you? So our new day is to really reinvent yourselves. Do nothing the same. I'm asked the question all the time, why are you still working out? Because it's a lifestyle. I let the game go, but I'm still living. But I'm still who I am. The game tells athletes that when the game is done and when the bright light stops shining, we don't need you no more. That's a lie. I'm needed more now than I was when I was playing.
If you know who you really are, you'll be afraid to meet yourself.
Thirdly, is to shut the devil's mouth. When your nightmare is over, like Job, it will shut the devil's mouth. That voice that tells you God is a liar and you are no good and you'll never do and be anything, and all of those lies that hell screams at us. You might as well give up. You might as well take your life. You just don't have it. You're a failure. That nightmare is going to shut the devil's mouth when God turns it around. And I promise you, he will turn it around.
No matter what we've been through,
Inspiring habits.
no matter what you've ever been through, you had to go through it. But I took my greatest pain and I made my greatest pain my greatest friend by recognizing that pain does exist, but no pain lasts always. No pain lasts always. So my new identity in life, my new brand that I want to shake up a little bit, my comfort zone I want to shake up a little bit. Because what my prayers has been, Father, surround me with like-minded people. Take me where I'm really trying to go. Put somebody close to me that has way more knowledge than me. But let me soak him up like a sponge. Let me be that child all over again. Put training wheels on me all over again. Retrain my thoughts. Take my heart and deliver it in places that it can only be delivered. Take my pain and get rid of it. Take my misery and wash it away. Take my vision and grow it further. Father, take me and take me to higher heights. This is our new day. It's time for us to reclaim who we are. It's time for us to stand and put our feet in the ground and say, I am my brother's keeper. And I will love my neighbors thyself. And I will make sure my children understand the love that God offers. That's where we at. That's where we at. And this is our new day. Our new day is to stand up and take back and reclaim who we are. No matter what we've been through. We were kings from day one. We were kings and we will die as kings. We will die as kings. Change your comfort zone and make sure you be careful who you let inside of it. Thank you. God bless you.